In this video, we are going to take a look at the Bladeguard Veterans and what they can do in the service of the Deathwatch. So far, the Bladeguard Veterans have been exclusively available in the Indomitus box set, but from this upcoming Saturday, the 30th of January on, their multi-part kit will finally be available for pre-order. Over the course of this video, we are going to look at their stats, how they compare to similar units in the Deathwatch, and how they can be put to best use in a Deathwatch army.
Welcome to SwissHammer, your channel for modeling in Warhammer 40k. Here you will find tools and guides as versatile as a Swiss army knife to help you build your army. My name is Temmer and I will be guiding you through this video. In case you end up liking this content, please feel free to subscribe. With that out of the way, let's get started.
With 3 wounds and 3 attacks, the Bladeguard Veterans sport an impressive stats line, even for Space Marines. They excel at close combat with their mastercrafted power swords at +1 strength, -3 AP and the damage 2. They are protected by storm shields, and the sergeant has the option to upgrade his heavy bolt pistol to either a neo-volkite or a plasma pistol. As far as I'm concerned, the default loadout is just fine in most situations, and I would even advise against taking the plasma pistol, as you do not want to overcharge and risk losing such a valuable unit anyway. While they do have the core and the primaris keywords, the keen observer will notice that they are sort of in their own category with the Bladeguard keyword. Being neither Phobos, Tacticus nor Gravis, there is currently no way to incorporate them into any of the kill teams available to the Deathwatch. This means that very much like any other Space Marine army, they remain an elite choice, and with that do not gain OPSEC. One possible advantage of including them in a Deathwatch army is that in general the elite slots are not as contested as in other armies, because all the kill teams count as troops, while several other Indomitus primaris units such as Outriders, Eradicators and Inceptors have suffered from a points increase in the Space Marine January FAQ. The Bladeguard Veterans remain at a very modest 35 points, making them incredibly points efficient. Whether that has anything to do with the imminent release of their multi-part kit, who can say? A Bladeguard Veteran squad can hold between 3 and 6 models, though 5 is often considered to be ideal, offering that sweet spot between fighting power but still having cheaper access to certain stratagems and not being affected by the blast rule. When looking at including them in a Deathwatch army, I personally think that there are the following competitors: Deathwatch Veterans, Vanguard Veterans, as well as Deathwatch Terminators. All of these can be equipped with effective close combat weapons, storm shields and/or other sources of invul saves. So how does a squad of 3 to 5 Bladeguard Veterans compare against these more Deathwatch options? Let's find out. One thing that is immediately noticeable is that it is very difficult to even run the comparison at 105 points, which is what you will pay for 3 Bladeguard Veterans. A squad of Deathwatch or Vanguard Veterans with 3 storm shields and a bunch of non-mastercrafted power swords already puts you at around 120 points which is quite above that of the Bladeguard Veterans, and the overall output of such a Deathwatch Veteran squad is far from impressive. The only advantage they have going for them is that they are OPSEC. This means that a trio of Bladeguard Veterans is the most point-efficient way to include a small and effective close combat unit. At 140 points, which is 4 Bladeguard Veterans, the comparison becomes a bit more interesting. For the same amount of points, it is possible to run 5 Vanguard Veterans with lightning claws and/or power swords. They are the same price, storm shields and jump pack. By including them in a Proteus Killteam and using combat squads, they can also be made OPSEC, though they lose the sergeant that way. Personally, I think both of these options are interesting picks and can easily be incorporated in a variety of lists. The Vanguard Veterans have mobility on their side, while the Bladeguard Veterans will be harder to shift. At 175 points, which is 5 Bladeguard Veterans, the Deathwatch Veteran squad finally becomes interesting, because for that amount of points you can include a Black Shield as the 6th member of the squad and have the points available to make proper use of the Deathwatch Veterans' highly flexible war gear, such as Power Fists. Furthermore, we can finally start comparing the Bladeguard Veterans to Terminators. The Terminators only have 2 attacks compared to the 3 of the Bladeguard, and they only move 5 inches, but they have, of course, their teleport strike, more flexible war gear, and the option to become OPSEC when used in combination with a Proteus Killteam. Personally, I think that the Terminators would need slightly more points to operate efficiently. Say for 185 points, you can take 3 times the Lightning Claw and 2 times the Thunderhammer and Storm Shield Terminators, which is an effective close combat force. All in all, while there are multiple good options at around 175 points, the Bladeguard Veterans easily compete, and I dare say that it is almost impossible to outperform them on smaller squad sizes. What I especially like about them is that while 5 of them is somewhat of a sweet spot, you can easily drop one and run a squad of 4 if you happen to be short on points, and they will still be great. However, because they are not OPSEC themselves, they would greatly benefit from being around another kill team or characters with OPSEC auras. More on this later though. With the comparison to Deathwatch units out of the way, let's take a look at what the Deathwatch can offer to Bladeguard Veterans in return. One potential disadvantage of the Bladeguard Veterans is their lack of mobility. With the Teleportarium stratagem, as well as the Beacon and Chalice relic, the Deathwatch has 2 unique ways to deliver them into combat. It is also worth mentioning that there has been a new rare rule clarification recently that addresses what happens to effects on a unit when it uses combat squads. Based on the White Scars encirclement stratagem example, the same conclusions can be drawn for the Deathwatch Teleportarium stratagem, allowing a full squad of 6 Bladeguard Veterans to be put into Teleportarium for 1 CP, and then using combat squads to be able to deploy them separately. This could be a reason to actually take a full squad of 6 and have each combat squad deployed in support of a kill team or similar in different locations. Furthermore, the Brotherhood of Veterans stratagem offers some great close combat boosts for the Bladeguard Veterans, mainly by using chapter tactics from the Blood Angels or White Scars. Premorphic Resonance and Fortified with Contempt are two librarian powers that also work well with the Bladeguard, depending on whether they need more offense or defense. Then last but not least, addressing the potential problem of not being OPSEC. When being accompanied by an HQ with the Warlord trait, the ties that bind, the Bladeguard Veterans could even temporarily become OPSEC. All these strategies unique to the Deathwatch aside, all the general Space Marine strategies of course also work in a Deathwatch army. An impulsor could be used for transportation. By including 5 Bladeguard Veterans, there is even still space for a single support character. In general, Bladeguard Veterans can benefit from a variety of these support characters, be it chaplains, Judiciary, captains, and of course the infamous Chief Apothecary. Honorably mentioned, the Bladeguard Ancient that offers particular benefits for the Bladeguard Veterans, but I have to say that I usually prefer one of the other support characters instead. Two good general stratagems are Transhuman, which will only cost 1 CP for a squad up to 5, and also Gene-Rot Mine is worth consideration as the Bladeguard Vets have a decent amount of attacks. Great news also for assembling the upcoming multi-part kit. GW has already released pictures of the frames, and we can see that all the left arms come separate without the pauldron attached. Upon closer inspection, the arm looks somewhat Terminator size, though I think that the regular Deathwatch pauldron will fit just fine with a bit of clipping if required. Bladeguard Veterans are not Gravis models, and personally I have used the regular Deathwatch pauldrons for the Bladeguard Veterans that were included in the Indomitus box. To wrap things up, the Bladeguard Vets are a very solid pick for any Space Marine army, including Deathwatch, even though they cannot be included in any of the kill teams at this point. Especially on low squad size, it is very difficult to find competitive alternatives for the same amount of points. That they take up an elite slot is no tragedy in most Deathwatch armies, as the kill teams are troops anyway. Even outside of kill teams, there is some great synergy when including them in a Deathwatch army, including special delivery options, stratagems, and librarian powers. Beyond that, the strategies commonly used in other Space Marine armies work just fine. Based on the preview of the multi-part kit, it seems that either version of the Deathwatch pauldron can be used with minimal effort. So that's it for the Bladeguard Veterans in the Deathwatch. Are you guys planning to pick them up as well once the multi-part kit gets released? Let me know in the comments. Thank you very much for watching, guys. I hope you have been enjoying this video. Give me a thumbs up if you did, and don't forget to subscribe if you haven't done so already. Thanks again, and see you next time.